order. If you would, please rise. I'm going to call on Commissioner Griner to lead us in the pledge and the invocation.
Dear Heavenly Father, just thank you for all that you do for us each and every day, and just thank you for the blessings you've given us as individuals, as a county, as a state, as a country, Lord, and just help us to use those blessings to honor and glorify your name. Lord, just thank you for the individuals, men and women that have died for this country, that have given us the freedoms that we have, and may help us maintain those freedoms, Lord, and just be with all of us and help us to do your will each and every day. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Mr. Griner. At this time, I believe we've got some representative here from Leadership Lounge. If you would, please, if we do, please stand and be recognized. Well, we do have. Well, matter of fact, this happens to be my personal hero. This is County Clerk Paige Duke's husband, Mr. Joe Dukes. And we put up with Paige for just a little bit, but Mr. Dukes is my hero because he has to live with it.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I appreciate that more than you know.
There you go. Well, good. Joe, I know that you are making everything that you can out of your participation in Leadership Lounge this year, and I hope you're getting a lot out of it, and certainly we appreciate you doing that. Thank you. Okay, Commissioners, inside your packet, you'll find your minutes from the work session of July the 8th and your regular session minutes of July the 9th. If there are no additions, deletions, or corrections to those minutes, I'll entertain a motion to approve the minutes.
Mr. Chairman, I move we approve those minutes as presented.
Okay, we have a motion to approve. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion signify by aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, like sign. Hearing none, the motion carries. Agenda item 5A is our FY 2020 Juvenile Justice Incentive Grant. Mr. Ty?
Yes, sir. As we discussed yesterday, the application that the commission approved for submission earlier this year was chosen for funding, but at a reduced rate. So the agenda item you have before you is for the service agreement with Evidence-Based Associates to continue providing the project management for the services, as well as the award documents, including a revised budget based on the reduced funding amount that require the chairman's signature. So if you have any questions about the anything in the agenda item, then I'll be glad to answer your questions.
Okay, any questions for Mr. Ty? Thank you, Mr. Ty. Commissioners, I'll entertain a motion.
Motion to approve.
Okay, we have a motion to approve. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by aye.
Aye. Any
Any opposed, like sign. Hearing none, the motion carries. We did have it apparently just a little bit of an adjustment on the agenda, so I kind of got ahead of myself a little bit, I think. No, I hadn't. No. I'm good. It's just a little place different here. Okay. All right, agenda item 5B is the ACCG IRMA's Property and Liability Program Renewal. Mr. Beals, how are you doing?
Good, sir. Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, this is a little housekeeping annual item that we do through HR. And as stated, this is our IRMA Property and Liability Program renewal. This year's renewal, the county is receiving safety credits as well as dividend credits of $136,000. They did provide us with 2 quotes for renewal. One to keep it at the current deductible levels that we are experiencing at $2,500 per occurrence on all lines except for $5,000 per occurrence for law enforcement liability and public official liability, or increase the deductible to $5,000 and $10,000 on those particular items. It's our request to continue based on the history that we've had in most current years to continue going with the current, the $2,500.
Okay. Any questions for Mr. Beals? Thank you, Mr. Beals. Commissioners, I'll entertain a motion.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we renew at current deductible levels, which are $2,500 per occurrence on all lines except for $5,000 per occurrence for law enforcement liability and public official liability premium, $745,721.
Okay, then we have a motion to renew at the current deductible levels, which are $2,500 per occurrence on all lines except for $5,000 per occurrence for law enforcement liability and public official liability at the premium rate of $745,721. Do I have a second?
Second.
Have a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, like sign. Hearing none, the motion carries. Agenda item 5C is the Grassy Pond Sewer Connection. Mr. Stoughton?
Yes, sir. Moody Air Force Base sent a request for proposal to connect Grassy Pond Recreation Area to the Lowndes County Sewer System. This capital project will be funded by Moody Air Force Base through our current water and sewer contract. Lowndes County advertised for bids. RPI Incorporated was the low bidder. Total cost for the project is $518,673.30. Staff recommends the project be approved and authorize the chairman to sign the agreement and the contract modification.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Stoughton. Any questions for Mr. Stoughton? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion.
Motion to award the bid to RPI Inc., $330,957.40.
Okay, we have a motion then to award the bid to RPI Inc., $330,957.40. Do we have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, I'll call the vote. All in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, like sign. Hearing none, the motion carries. Agenda item 5D is the Hospital Authority's refunding of revenue certificates. Mr. Elliott?
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman. Back in 2011, the Hospital Authority issued revenue certificates. Related to that issue, the county entered into an intergovernmental contract with the authority. That contract provided additional security for those 2011 certificates. The hospital is now in the process of issuing refunding revenue certificates to refinance the 2011 certificates. This will affect significant debt service savings to the hospital authority. The item on the agenda before you this evening is a resolution. It includes several provisions. Number one, it approves the form of an intergovernmental contract, which is Exhibit A to the resolution. This contract says the county will make the authority's principal and interest payments on the new certificates if the authority is unable to do so. This provision tracks a similar provision in the existing intergovernmental contract, and it does not increase the county's current obligation to the authority. The resolution also approves the issuance of a preliminary official statement, a continuing disclosure statement, a disclosure policy, which is Exhibit B to the resolution, and authorizes the filing on behalf of the county of an answer to the validation petition, which was filed last week to validate the new certificates.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Elliott. Any questions for Mr. Elliott? I'd also like to take a moment and recognize we've got the South Georgia Medical Center CEO, Mr. Bill Forbes, with us, Chief Financial Officer, Mr. Grant Byers, and the Chief Operations Officer, is that correct? Mr. David Schott with us, and you have some guests. So, Commissioners, if you have any questions from any of those individuals, or would you like to take the time to make a statement? Mr. Forbes, please come forward. We normally say would state your name and address for the record, but that's not needed.
Mr. Chairman, as CEO of the hospital and commissioners, I just want to take this opportunity to tell you how valuable your willingness to do this is to this community and to this facility. we're looking at possibly between $4 and $5 million annual savings on the bottom line because we're able to do this and because of your support. The hospital has been very strong over the years, continues to be so, been through some troubled times over the last year, 2 years. But as hopefully you're seeing in the paper, that the paper's starting to show some favorable signs to the hospital that we're coming out of it. And we have some high hopes for the future as to what we're going to be able to do at South Georgia Medical Center. And it's all because you gentlemen and ladies are willing to support this community and this facility. And that means a lot to us, and we just want to say thank you for what you're doing for us. If you have any questions that I can answer, I'll be glad to do so.
Okay. Hear none. Mr. Forbes, I just feel like I need to take this moment also. I know that you filled the position of CEO as interim and then was moved into the position of CEO. And I know that it was a big personal decision for you to make that, to do that until another decision could be made. But I, again, wanted to personally thank you for stepping up and stepping into that role and bringing the stability to the situation at the hospital and moving that hospital forward as it has shown that you have done under your great leadership. So personally, I'm very appreciative of it, and I know that this community at some point in time will need to take the time to recognize your efforts in doing that. So again, I thank you very much for that.
Mr. Chairman, I appreciate that. I came to Valdosta in 1968 from Saigon after the Tet Offensive, and this was such a more pleasant place than what I left that I took a tremendous liking to this community. And even though I don't live here, it's my home, and I'm going to do whatever I can to make it a good place for the people of this community. Thank you for those words.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, Commissioners, I'll entertain a motion.
Motion to approve and authorize the chairman to sign the attached resolution.
We have a motion to approve and authorize the chairman to sign the attached resolution. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, like sign. Hearing none, the motion carries. Agenda item 5E is the SPLOS 7 agreement. Commissioners, as I stated at the work session yesterday, we had meetings with the cities inside of Lowndes County. We do have an agreement, which means that we can move forward with a 6-year referendum. And very proud to say that I feel like that the county's project list is a very good, very solid list, a list of needs that we need to address. I'm also very pleased to say that in reviewing the city's list as well, is that they took the same tack on doing that. So before you, you have that agreement, and I'll entertain a motion.
Motion to approve.
So we have a motion to approve the agreement. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, like sign. Hearing none, the motion carries. Agenda item 5F is the abandonment of portion of Reed Road, and I think this is really just some quick claim issues.
Yes,
Mr.
so
Fletcher?
this is for some quick claim deeds that were generated as a result of the abandonment that occurred back in January.
Correct.
So these are actually for the chairman to sign the quick claim deeds and where we can record and the property owners can record some new deeds.
Any questions for Mr. Fletcher? Commissioners, I'll entertain a motion.
I move we approve and authorize the chairman to sign the attached quick claim deeds.
Do we have a motion to approve and authorize the chairman to sign the quick claim deeds? Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, I'll call the vote. All in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, like sign. Hearing none, the motion carries. Without the presence of Mr. Pritchard, I'm assuming we have no county manager's report.
That's correct, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, ma'am. Citizens wishing to be heard, I believe we have one, Miss Michelle Williams. Please come forward and state your name and address for the record, please.
My name is Michelle Williams. I live at 4120 Cider Trail in Hayhira, Georgia. I'm here today to speak on the spay and neuter ordinance that is desperately needed here in Lowndes County. I'm a volunteer with Animal Rescue, and quite frankly, we're tired. The number of animals that come here to the shelter here is just overwhelming. We get one out, and there's like 20 to take its place. I know that there is a spay and neuter ordinance in Macon that I believe was initiated in 2013. There's one in Whitfield County and Dalton that was just initiated this year. And if they can do it, we can do it too. The numbers that the shelter here takes in is just astronomical. And we just can't cover the number of animals that we get. So we just desperately need something to help with the number of intakes of animals here. Okay?
All right, thank you, ma'am. Commissioners, any comments or any other business?
Mr. Chairman, if I could add, I just want to tell the commission how much we appreciate Michelle Williams as well as Judy Haverkamp, who's at a lot of our meetings. They're fantastic volunteers. They're the reason why we have some of the programs that we do with the shelter. They've made some fantastic recommendations that staff has been able to follow through with. We know they're tired. We also know as staff that you all are doing a lot behind the scenes already to listen to those requests. So I just want to tell Michelle how much we appreciate her being here tonight, as well as the efforts that she and all of the rescue folks in our community provide for the animals, as well as the support they provide to the staff.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Dukes. Any other comments? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Move to adjourn.